Hey guys, my name is Ryan, and we're back again with another Spirit Island video. Today, we're going to be playing the brand new Apocrypha spirit, Covet's Gleaming Shards of Earth. In case you are unaware, this is the brand new spirit revealed this past weekend on Ted's stream. I've uploaded a recording of that stream so you can see the reveal for yourself. Ted is the lead developer of Spirit Island, and this is a passion project between himself and Eric, the designer of Spirit Island. One way you can think of an Apocrypha spirit is as a fan-made spirit, except that the fan is also the lead designer and developer of the game. So this stream came together incredibly fast. I started talking to Ted on June 6th, and the stream happened on June 9th, just 3 days later. I genuinely had no information going in. I only knew the tiny details that Ted had leaked leading up to the stream in order to build anticipation. From my perspective, it was more important to create a watchable show and to move quickly than it was to play perfectly and accurately. So I'm willing to bet I made tons of mistakes in that first game. Before I get too far ahead of myself though, I want to go over the spirit and its powers for anyone who did not see the stream. So we have Covet's Gleaming Shards of Earth, and the special rule is that you have an Incarna. When targeting a land with a power, you may push the Incarna towards or into that land. That can enable range and targeting requirements. And then once per turn, you may add or move the Incarna directly to the layer. So what is the Incarna? What is the layer? This is the Incarna right here. There is no empowered side. It should not be a sacred site when you flip it over. It's just a normal presence on both sides with nothing else. And this layer is just a marker on a land. Once it gets assigned, it cannot be manipulated or moved for any reason for the entire game. During setup, we will get to choose which land becomes the land with the layer in it, but it is semi-restricted. But moving on, always seeking metal. Your powers can find metal. Choose a building without metal and attach 1 metal for a town or 2 metal for cities. When that invader is destroyed, removed, or pushed, but not when gathered, replaced, or otherwise moved, it drops its metal, leaving it unattached. Collector of spoils. At the Incarna, each dropped metal is attached to the Incarna. When the metal that is attached to the Incarna is at the layer, you can store it in the Hoard. And this is the Hoard down here. We're going to look at it in a second, but yes, the spirit has 2 full panels. So we have some pretty standard growth tracks. It's a 0-2-1 spirit, where you get the reclaim, gain a power card, move your Incarna, add 2 presence with restrictions, and then, power card, energy, and add a presence. So it's kind of a standard growth pattern. And the presence tracks look pretty interesting. You're gonna top out at 5 and 3, but these 2 double spots with the fire and the animal, if you were to draw out the presence tracks, it would basically be like Finder of Paths Unseen like this, in that you can choose to go across the top or across the bottom as you go from left to right. And anything that is skipped, right, let's say I picked up this fire and I wind up getting all the way down to this 5 energy, I can choose to later pick up this animal. It's not permanently locked out of the game. And the same logic applies for this elements right here. So when we do clear all the tracks, we wind up at 5 energy, 3 card plays, and we get 7 free elements, which I think is up on the higher end. The only innate power that we have on this first board is Scent of Shining Earth. And this is basically our economy. You'll see in the power cards, there is no power card that gets us metal. The only way at the start of the game to find metal is with this innate power. And so we can target a land, range 1, fast, has to have buildings, and no metal. And the first step is to add metal, or find metal. So we cannot, we have to choose different lands each time. Okay, then it can be slow. And then this one says that you can target lands that already have metal, so it changes the targeting restrictions. Then this tier here adds an additional metal to a city that already has metal. Now, technically, if they had the space, this would be tier 1, 2, 3, then 4, then 5. So we would find the metal first and then add metal to a city second, which means that we could start with a land with no metal in it at all, and then pretty much add 3 metal to that city. Final tier, we get to repeat this power in a different land. Cool, so this basically is just getting ourselves the economy, getting this metal, collecting it, or getting the metal, adding it to the different buildings, such that when we destroy it or when we move it, we can collect said metal. So what do we do with that metal? This entire second board is that. Across the bottom, we have the price to purchase one of these tokens. On the left, you can see it costs 1, and as you work your way to the right, it costs 7. They are all equally valuable. There's no marginal benefit to going for this expensive one first. I'm not sure if it explicitly says you go left to right, but there's literally no reason why you would not go left to right. There's no reason to pick up this before this. So what do we get? Well, when we spend the metal and we purchase one of these tokens, we're going to flip over the top minor power in the deck. And then from the elements on that card, we get a choice. So we can take one of these 8 elemental options, or we can take the token and put it here. If we, this one's pretty straightforward, right? If you put it here, you just permanently get an element. So let's just say like we pulled a card with Sun, Fire, Earth, and we decided that we really want to just get a permanent Sun element. We would put that here, and then we would get a Sun element, and we could keep that forever. But what's much more exciting is getting cool new things. So what are the cool new things that we can get? So Plant and Moon will give us an additional energy on Growth 2 and Growth 3. So everything else will be the same with the Spirit, except we're just going to wind up getting more energy over the course of the game. Okay, the next group are all modifiers to our Incarna. This is basically what we're doing instead of having an empowered Incarna, is that we have these different ways to make our Incarna more effective. And so, the animal one says that damage dealing powers originating from the Incarna deal +1 damage. Okay, the water one says that powers originating from the Incarna can push any invader as if it was an explorer or a town. So basically, it can push a city anytime that you could push an explorer. And then if we do push a city, we get a fear. Then this third tier, one invader and an explorer do not ravage at the Incarna. So if you have a city and an explorer, it's basically like a free defend 4. There's obviously other implications when things don't participate in ravage, but it's a lot of great passive defense. So this is the one that really requires good positioning with our Incarna. These ones, if we have like range 1 or range 2 powers, we can still utilize our Incarna without having to be physically present. We'll also see that everything that we have is range 1 or more. So this is the only an innate range 0 power in our entire kit. Now this third group is 3 new innate powers. Since this innate power on our first board is really just our internal economy and doesn't actually do anything to affect the board in traditional ways, these 3 innate powers are the ways that we will affect the board. So the fire one is damage, as fire typically is. The air one is pushing, as air typically is. And then the sun is kind of a grab bag, which I think, suns are kind of hard to explicitly define in general. The only thing a sun is known for is just being good. It must be targeted from the Incarna, which means that it is obligated to receive the benefits of these. If we had some other card that did not require targeting from the Incarna, we can find ourselves in situations where we do not receive these benefits because we are not using the Incarna for targeting. So now let's take a look at the new unique powers. This is our support card. I'll save this for the end. I think this card is incredibly powerful, and a significant portion of our power budget, I think, goes into this card here. And since it's a multiplayer card, it's a support card, there is going to be a question of how to properly demonstrate the spirit for video purposes, but I'll save that for the end. Let's focus on our other things first, the stuff that actually affects the board. So first we have Unnerving Attention. 1 fear if any invader has metal, and then we can push an explorer or a town and a Dahan. Okay, this has 2 range, slow. 2 range is really nice. Gives us tons of flexibility for solo games. That's really your whole board. Just a classic control card. Next, we have Favors of Steel and Bone, another range 2 card. The target land must have Dahan and metal. We get a fear if invaders are present. And then for each metal in target land, 1 Dahan cannot be damaged or destroyed. And then after the invader phase, for each dropped metal, move a Dahan to the Incarna. That could go anywhere across the whole board. This is particularly interesting to me because we can find metal, not requiring our Incarna, and then we can use this, not requiring our Incarna, for targeting, and then we can teleport Dahan across the map. So I'm sure there's going to be some really sneaky ways that we can use this to, let's say we have like mountains ravaging and wetlands building. Maybe we put our Incarna in the wetlands and then use this card in a mountain, jump those Dahan over to the from the mountains into the wetlands, and then use a defend card on the next turn to really get tons of value out of the Dahan. I feel like this has a pretty good ceiling available to us if we are clever. Last, we have Melt Earth to Slag. 2 cost slow, range 1. We get a fear and a damage, and then for each invader with metal, 1 damage. In the early game, it's pretty hard to get more than 1 invader with metal, since there is the restriction that you must target lands without metal. So I think for the early game, this is really just going to be 2 energy for 2 damage, which is not a great conversion, and is technically worse than 2 energy kill a town, which is something you might see on Stone, and is often considered to be one of Stone's worst cards. So there is obviously a higher ceiling with this card. As you get later into the game, it can do more and more damage. But I also wonder if it's just not going to do enough damage once we're at that point of the game. We might as well just pull a major. So this card, I feel like, is our weakest of these 3. But our best card is Petition for Smoldering Wrath. And this can target any spirit. So target spirit pays you up to 3 energy. So if you were to take the total sum of all energy across all the spirits, it stays the same because one spirit loses energy, but then Covet's Gleaming gains energy. For each energy paid, they get 1 of these effects. So there's 3 effects. They can each be purchased for 1 energy apiece. Gain a minor, play a minor, and then slow to fast a minor. So the way that it's written, you execute from top to bottom, so you can gain a card and then play that card immediately. And if it's a slow card, you can then resolve it immediately as well. Now, with this, it says if you target yourself, you instead pay the supply. And so this is kind of the question of how I want to execute the spirit in a solo game that we're about to play. If we do the solo version, it's basically pay 2 energy, gain a minor, which is similar to other effects like that Many Minds has. 3 energy to gain a minor and then play the minor, except the minor also has to pay its cost, so it could be up to 4 energy to gain and play a minor, 5 energy if you want it to be fast. So the other way of executing this card could be pay 1 energy and then gain 2 energy. If you assume that on average you're going to gain 2 energy from another spirit, and then you just completely ignore the text on the card. I think I'm going to play it with the written solo rules just because, that's what it says to do. But I can certainly reason that someone may want to play this as a mock-up of a multiplayer game and basically have this pay 1 energy, gain 2 energy, no other text, just a whole bunch of elements. So I understand. I think I'm just going to play it exactly as is written. We're going to play our very first solo game here, and it's going to be against Prussia 5. Let's see how we do. We get board B. Alright, so I mentioned that we start with no presence. We only start with the layer and the Incarna in the same land. And we have some amount of choice. The choice is we can start in a mountain or in a land with Blight. And since we're going to be regularly returning our Incarna back to this layer, I think we're going to want to keep this in a more central land. So I'm thinking we're going to go here number 4. All but 2 of the lands are adjacent to us. And if we set up like a sacred site here in board 7, that gives us access to everything, or at least a single presence. That gives us access to these other 2 lands. So we're going to start here at land number 4 and see how we do. Opening up with a Wetlands Explorer. Okay. Now, for this first Explorer, I'm looking at playing something like Unnerving Attention. Just pushing this town out and letting this kind of kill itself against the Dahan. This we may or may not have a good plan for immediately up front. But I like the idea of just playing a very inoffensive card. You know, a card that's just always going to be good. Oh, this does push a Dahan. It always pushes Dahan. It's possible that I may want to target whatever explores next, right? If it's mountains, maybe jungles, sands. But do we want to play anything else? Because if we want to play a second card, we have to go G2 bot bot. So if we don't feel the need to play anything else right now, and I feel like we don't, then we're in a great place. And we could choose to gain another card and maybe set ourselves up for the future, or maybe just double grow and see if we can get more value. I think we don't really know what we want yet. And so perhaps we just gain a minor power. By the way, whenever this drafts, it drafts here and forgets everything in play. So I think we're going to gain a minor power. A couple good cards here. This has Earth, this has Earth. They both have Animal, which is another element we care about. We don't care about the plant. We do care about the sun. And defends are always really nice, too. Because, you know, if this explores, it's going to hit for 6. So I think something like Carapace land that can defend for 6, I think that's the ticket. And I'm just going to go across top track. Just start to build a big old stockpile of energy. Such that, such that we'll be okay in the future. If we want to eventually go into majors. Okay, so now we get to find some treasure. And you get 2 steel for going onto a city. So we're going to go right here. We cash in the steel, and that's how we acquire this treasure down here. But for right now, step 1 is steel. Or they call it metal. I like steel because it's only 1 syllable. Invader phase, skip this event. And we get to go build, and explore the jungle sands. Okay, well, we have the Carapace land to deal with this. On our slow, we could deny this Ravage from happening, take 1 Blight. And then we'd have a bigger situation to deal with next turn. Maybe we'd wind up playing someone like Melt Earth to Slag next turn. Right, we have to go bot. So basically we have to play 2 of these cards. We know we're going to play Carapace land not this next turn. So we have to play 2 of these. Or, of course, we could just protect this Dahan from dying, put a steel here, protect it, and then just party on next turn. So I think what we're going to do is we're going to go here with the Incarna to push this and this, and there is no steel, so we get no fear. Now, we did not have to move our Incarna to do that, because it is range 2. Could have also come from this presence. Where are we planning on moving our Incarna next turn? Unsure. This does not require any presence in the land. Range 1 to add, range 1 to, or range 2 for the ability. I like putting the Incarna out here. Gives us choices. But, let's see, if we go for a growth 2, we have to add one at the Incarna. So where do we... And then one in one step away. So I think we're going to definitely want to add a presence here. So I think we do this. Okay. Time passes. So this next turn, I think we're going to play Favors. And do we want to play Melt Earth? We don't have to. We go bottom, bottom. We have the energy for it. We'd probably wind up just... Actually, can we make this slow? No, we don't have the 2 animals for that. Yeah, that gives us an air. I mean, getting some damage down right now does, like, start to progress the game forwards. I'm realizing now we should have moved our Incarna this way, so that way we could pick up the steel after it drops and get our first augment. Yikes. Yikes, 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 yikes. Another option is just to use this and just gain a card. In fact, we could gain a card and then slow to fast a minor power. I guess gain a card and then play the minor power immediately. Which could maybe, like if we hit an animal, we'd be able to get the slow to, or fast to slow. Get to hit 2 elements for that. We'd have to hit tons of elements for that. I don't know, at least an animal could increase our options. Let's try it, why not? So 1 at the Incarna, 1 within a range. And actually, getting this slow would be... Oh no, we're not playing Melt Earth the Slag. Okay, let's run with it. Let's see what happens. We're just experimenting here, right? And also, I realized that whole thing doesn't matter because we need to play this fast. Okay, so none of this stuff matters. So we'll use this, and we're going to pay just 1 energy. Oh, crap. Forgot. Okay, so we're just going to pay 1 energy. The elements that we care about, we have 5 different elements that we care about. We don't care about the moon, plant, and water. Earth is in everything. This is a pretty obvious take, I think. You know, mountain, being able to drop a wild here is really nice against Prussia. Of course, actually, if we explore jungles, that would also be really nice, so we can get that, you know, self-solving cycle. I think this is fine. Just more defense. Defense is always really nice. We can add a steel. Let's bring this back up. Add a steel here, and then we can protect one of the Tahan. Get a fear. And then we can head into the invader phase. Event. Cultural assimilation. Does this protect us against that? Cannot be damaged or destroyed. But this is not being damaged. It's not being destroyed. And I think we're planning on taking a blight anyways, so yeesh. Beast deals 2 damage. That at least solves... I mean, this land's already solved, so we're down to 1 land for next turn. It's going to suck this turn, but next turn we're better off. And then 2 Dahan, 2 buildings has no qualifiers. Okay, Ravage, being very sad. Build. And then let's explore the jungles. Okay, this is excellent for us. That's kind of what we wanted. And we're going to add the town here, because we kind of have incentives already to work our way into this land. Okay, we have no steel still, so we got nothing better to do. Also, thinking about doing Guardian Serpents right here in this land to protect it. And that means, yeah, I'm going to want to jump this back right now while I can for free, or last turn when I can for free. So this next turn, we're going to go here, here. Okay. And with these, I feel like getting the third animal gives us no marginal benefit. A sun gets us some amount of fear, which is important. Right? If we lean... If we pick up the sun, we could go like sun, fire. And just go for like a high quantity of card plays. And with this, no matter what we augment into, assuming that we pick up something this round, then we'll be good. Yeah, let's do this. So we add one at the Incarna, add one within one range of the layer. Gain pay. So we're going to do a defend 4 here. And then we're going to add steel, even though we could do it slow. I'm going to do it right now. Here, moving our Incarna in, and then adding a defend 6. So that way, the idea being that we finally can collect some steel, bring it in, get 2 augments, and hopefully that gives us, really, it'd be really nice to get 2 innates, just to increase the amount of actions that we can do every turn. And no matter which ones we can get some kind of value, and hopefully we can use that as a pivot point in this game to start getting ahead. Invader phase. We can destroy 2 presence, gain a power card. Actually, that's kind of what I was hoping for in a way, because I realized that we could gain a card and then go up to 3 card plays here. We could, and we could still gain a card and do 2 card plays this way, but going for 3 card plays is really nice. And so if we do that, go here and here, and then gain a power card. The other options is disease. Doesn't do anything, but we get a fear. I'll just add that fear now so I don't forget. And then Dahan defend 2, which will have no marginal effect. But we do get to gain a minor. Drought. What a spicy meatball. Blood draws isn't bad because I feel like our damage is a little bit low. We have like 3 damage here, stuff like that. So having supplemental damage, I'm wondering if that could be important. Even though it doesn't have Earth, it has everything else. And this is the only damage dealing power. Let's go for it. Excellent. Fear, none. Okay, Ravage in the jungles, defended, and sands. Here, picking up 2 steel. Then we get to build in the jungles and explore the mountains. Okay, slow phase. First, let's bring these 2 steel in. Our first 2 treasures cost 1 apiece. Well, they're going to get resolved once at a time. So we'll just take these 2 minor powers, and let's see what we get. So for this first one, I'm really hoping for fire, air, sun. And we get sun. Plant is pretty terrible. It just makes this growth 2, gives us more energy. I mean, energy is always good, but I want this stuff. And then the animal gives us extra damage, but right now we're not doing any damage. It doesn't actually accomplish anything. So this is going to be a sun. And then this one, we have sun, animal, air. So we gain access to this air ability here. For the sun, we cannot gain this twice. We would just gain a permanent sun element, which I think it's much too early for that. I think we want to go wider before we go taller. With air, we do get a push, which solves this land. And with this, we get the sun, we get 2 fear and steel. Okay, so yeah, I think it's obviously the air in order to solve this and narrow our problems. Excellent. When we use a push power, that will also drop steel. But if we're going to be pushing this, we cannot add steel to an explorer, so that's not going to get us anywhere. Now, what will get us somewhere, though, is that this steel addition is not restricted by existing steel. It's only restricted by the invader cards. It must match an invader card, and since mountains are building, we can target this land. So we will add a steel here, and then we get 2 invaders because... Sorry, 2 fear because invaders are present. So that's very good for us. Now, I'm thinking actually what we're going to want to do is we're going to want to do this push first. And then we're going to come over here and we want to end with our Incarna in the land with the steel. Yes. Now, the tricky thing is that there's like exactly 1 out in the deck. Maybe we go for a major here? Because this Melt Earth to Slag isn't that good. Melt Earth to Slag does kill the city, but it's quite expensive too. I don't think I have any issues with forgetting this Melt Earth to Slag. So let's go for a major. And everything is slow. That means we are going to be taking a Blight here, taking a Cascade, and that means we're going to flip the Blight card. Okay, thought we could do about that. We can go up to 5 energy for the turn. So I'd want any 4-cost card or less. So I'm looking at the Smothering Infestation. We could put a smother. We could put a presence here. Smothering Infestation. Probably put a presence here, and kind of work our way in towards the lair. Rumbling Earthquake's cool. We just can't play it this turn, which is unfortunate. So this is completely off element for us, but it is our best card, I think. We can forget this. Go here. Go here. We do get to pick up... Ooh, we don't even have an Earth. That's quite unfortunate. And without Earth, we can't hit anything. Maybe we just do this. And then that we have a stronger reclaim turn. 5, 6, 7. Go up to 8. Yeah. Let me grow and gain. Yeah, okay. Yeah, I think we go for the 3 card plays. Planning on going for a Carapace land. Carapace land and then other friends. Hoping to gain any kind of Dahan movement. Yes, let's go up here with this. And let's see, since we're planning on doing a slow damage in the 6th, that's where we're also going to do blood draws. It's going to be a very sad turn. Add a city to a coastal land with city. Well, that's not good. Add a disease to a coastal land with the most buildings. Kills Dahan. And then push a presence from a land with Dahan. So hey, we can save this from being destroyed. So we could go here, do 2 damage, kill the town, trigger this, add a beast. Hopefully we get some kind of an event that could help us. Maybe beast produce fear, right? That's some kind of value. Let's take it. Okay. Fear card. Oh wait, yeah, this is the event. What am I saying? Adds a strife to a land not matching a Ravage card. I think we have to go here so we can stick to our plan A. Ravage, taking Blight, flipping the card. Destroy a beast, and then add a Blight in a land with buildings. So we're going to Cascade here. We're going to kill a beast here. Like, remove a town is a thing that beasts do, so that's going to be more pertinent than this. I'm going to add a Blight. If I add a Blight here, there's nowhere for it to Cascade. This at least has 1 place that it can go. Excellent. That's the Ravage, and then that's the build, and the Explore is the Wetlands. Okay, then we're going to get 2 Fear, 3 damage, and add a Disease. Time passes. Reclaim all, gaining a minor. Gosh, renewing Boon is our only Earth card. This is like blight removal and stuff, which isn't terrible. Like, we can... I mean, honestly, actually, like, it's not terrible at all because almost all of our blight is in these lands. Like, it's a little bit proactive, too. So, like, we could use Ferocious Growth to just kill off these Explorers, and then... Oh, wait, did I not escalate? I didn't escalate, I don't think. We escalate here? I think we escalate here. Yeah, I think we take this. Okay. We know we want to play this Carapace land. And we really need to start doing some proactive stuff. We have no fast Ahan movement, so we can't rely on that here. With this Voracious Growth, I think that has to be played. Maybe we have to play the Smothering Infestation. We don't have the energy. We have anything else that costs 0? We do not. We could play something like this. Maybe we just play this. A Mountains Explorer, we can just solve it straight out. If we do this... Yeah, some amount of control. Dang, I really would like to play the Smothering Infestation when we have the ability to threshold it. We have no 0 cost, so like we can't play 3 cards and Smothering. So I think we either play this or we gain a card. And gaining a card is probably just too slow as we're stepping into the stage 3. So let's go for 6 defense. And then we can slow add steal, which I'm fine with. I think that's good for us this time around. Explore, can't get pocketed. Choose a land with disease, and that land 2 damage to invaders, 2 damage to Dahan. Alright. Ooh. As much as I want this 1 steal, I think this is the play here. So we can remove this blight, and that fully solves... Sorry, that fully solves the Wetland Ravage. Fear. So we get one fear. And we get a Strife in the land with or adjacent to Beast. Okay. I think we're just going to let this just fly. And let's just go for max value. Add a strike to a building and a land not matching a Ravage card. Okay. And here we can go, I guess, here with it. No, let's put it in the land with the Dahan. Alright, Ravage in the mountain. It's fully defended. Strife comes off, though. Build. And exploring the mountain wetland. Okay. So now we have push, more steal, we have voracious growth, and we have another push. This is a push 2. I have no steal currently on my Incarna. A push could drop this steal. I do have a slow steal addition, but it must go into a land without steal already. So that restricts some targeting. I do like the idea of just putting all the explorers in here and hitting it with Smothering Infestation. So I think we do that. There's no steal for a fear versus a double push. Let's see. I feel like we can push 3 things out of this land. So we can push Town Explorer, leave behind 5 health, and then I don't have the damage to clear that city. If any invader has steel, this has no steel whatsoever. But this is fine steel, so I can just add a steel here and then do stuff with it. Unrestricted. So I think, do I find steel here? Do my double push to drop them to go here. And when I do that double push, I'll move the Incarnate in to do that, so that way I can collect it. Voracious Growth to remove the Blight. So this innate's been used. Then I'll use... that innate's been used. Then I'll use this one here to push Explorer plus Dahan. They don't have to go to the same land. So that way this will kill itself, and then that's solved. So that's solved, that's solved. This has a Blight removed, so it's a temporary solution. And then that goes right back to this one land. Okay. I can do that. And then I'll bring this Incarnate in, cashing in 2 steel for the next augment. If I get a fire, that gives me 1 more damage, which I could then use maybe to kill off that Explorer. Just so that we can play around, you know, any kinds of problems. We get air, which we cannot use. Earth. Earth gives us a Ravage skip. That's very interesting. It will allow us to skip that from participating. It would be just that. Doesn't solve it, but to step in the right direction. And then Moon gives our growth 3 extra energy. Which honestly I don't hate right now, because I'm thinking I might just pull for... If I pull for a major, it's plus 4 energy. Or 2 energy, 2 energy. Puts me at 5 for the turn. It's certainly interesting. If I do that, Smothering Infestation, and allows me to play Smothering plus 2 1 costs. Heck, let's do it. Okay, that's time passes. Okay. So this next turn, I'm gonna go for this G3, and I think I'm actually just gonna gain a minor here. I can play Smothering Infestation plus any 2 other cards. Ooh. Ooh, ooh, ooh. Tri-element on the Gold's Allure, which is very alluring. This turn we need damage. I'm going to be using the Smothering Infestation here. And if I can pick up a plant from this drift down, that'll let me threshold it. And if I combine that with the Blood Draws Predators, I think that means that I can... Well, that's going to be 5, and I get 1 beast. That's going to be 4. I would not clear it completely, and the drift down doesn't defend pertinent lands right now. I mean, Unquenchable Flames, just bad lands, I think is important enough. I think we just do this. So we go Smothering Infestation, and I get a choice of either fire or animal. Definitely, I think we never take this animal here. Because that, you know, at least we have choices. So with 6 right there, I don't think it's possible for us to fully defend that. This card's not relevant. That card's not going to do anything. That card's not going to do anything. So yeah, I think we just kind of fall into this play right here. at which point 3 fires is more than what we need. We'll pick up this animal. Because they have the 2 animals, that gives us an extra bit of fear. Can't go into this land because it'll just die. So we go here with it. Fast. Let's see. Blood draws. Well, we can just push. With the blood draws in this land, it does not make a difference. The 1 extra damage is not going to make a difference. It's just going to be 3 damage. Plus 1 really doesn't matter. But with the Unquenchable Flames, getting that over and over again, I think that can do it. So let's do this. Yeah. With that Badlands, I think it's going to make the difference. Oh, and we also have to find metal, which we will certainly do in the land that we're planning on killing things. Right, event. On each board with a city, add a blight to a land with city, or sacrifice 2 presents. Take a blight. We are taking a blight here. It'll put us down to 2 on the card. Risk of cascading, or we can just sack 2 presents. And I feel like the sack 2 presents makes more sense. Here and here, perhaps. Save the Sacred Site so that way we can use the Unquenchable Flames. Yeah, because I think you can only move the Incarna towards the target land. Okay. So we'll just sacrifice 2 presents. Beasts kill explorers. And then add a Dahan to a jungle or wetland. We'll go here with it. Okay, Ravage. Build. And explore the Sands wetlands. It's a bit of a lucky break hitting the wetlands over and over again. Was our early stage 3 also wetlands? It was not. So there is another wetlands in the deck, but hitting 3 wetlands in a row is very action efficient right here. Okay, Unquenchable Flames, Fear, Damage, and Badlands. Okay, so then when I use Smothering Infestation, I'll get 2 Fear, 4 damage. Actually, before I do the damage, I did the fear, but yeah, let's just say I did the fear for this, and then we're also going to find another steal here. Yeah. Then we get 2 more fear for the infestation, 4 damage, picking up 3 steal. Triggers this, adds a beast for 2 more damage. Okay, so that uses that. And that has been used, so we still have a push available to us. If I bring in the steel right now, that gives me 1 more, and then we're 2 steel short of the next one. And considering I can just move my Incarna right back out, we're going to spend 2 of the steel. 1 of them is left over, so we're just going to hold on to it. Let's flip our next minor power. Damage. I always like damage. Damage would be nice. It would, completely clear that land, and then both of our wetlands will be solved, and that would be really, really nice. So fire is a good hit here. And yeah, okay, we got fire. So that gives us our last innate as a choice. Air is already taken. Plant would give us another energy gain. And then Earth would give us a Ravage skip. But I really like this fire here. So now we can then use that innate to come back out here and do extra damage. Because that Badlands, beautiful. Both of our wetlands are solved. This mountain is solved. So we have 1 single land Ravage in this next turn. We have 3 blight on the card. We could just eat it. And we can just focus then only on these 2 lands. We have defense lined up. We have sufficient defense for both of them. We have a defend 4 and a defend 6. So even if we get another Sans Explore, it's, we put ourselves into like, +1 damage could hurt us, but it's not an impossible situation. Okay, this is very, very good. This is very good for us. Time passes. I think this card that doesn't do anything, it just gains us a minor, can go. And we can just dump it for a major. So that's going to be putting us up at 5 energy. I don't even need these cards this turn. I can basically play just a single card if we have to. Let's see what we get. Trees and Stones will kill the town. That's interesting. Savage Transformation is the best card in the game. Trees and Stones, if you threshold it, is also a Dahan push. You could also use Trees and Stones just to pick off this. And since that's going to die, this then becomes pocketed. And considering that we know that there's still 2 jungles left, that is a significant thing to consider. Sweep into the Sea will kill all coastal towns. That can do some stuff here. Strangling Fire Vines, I think, does nothing for us. I'm going to do Trees and Stones. I really like the idea of pocketing out this jungle when we know there's still 2 more Jungle Explore cards possible. Hopefully that could snowball the position to our advantage. We'll gain this. Oh, sorry. We didn't want to do that. So we'll go, if we go like here, and then we're only going to play these other cards if we need them for elements. And we're also going to want to... Oh. Since that is not presence. Ooh, this is tricky for targeting. Wait, with Beast, you get the +1 range. So we can do that. Okay. We get the +1 range on that. And then... yeah, if we're reclaiming, we can jump the Incarna over here, but we need the Sacred Site. That's tricky. Ooh, that is very tricky. We just go here for now. Okay, for elemental combinations, we do want this fire. The fire does give us extra damage. And we could also... that's a fear, that's a beast. They have the same elements pretty much, right? That's just strictly better for elements. Maybe we just play this just for the elements. And then what do we forget? Voracious Growth is just a blight removal card for us, considering these 2 lands are like out of the game. And perhaps we don't need it because we have Smothering Infestation. We could threshold it with like Carapace Land, Blood Draws. So I think Voracious Growth is the pick. Trees and Stones, each Dahan deals 1 damage. Guardian Serpents. I don't know the Invader deck super well, but like what kind of beast things we could get. I don't know if there's like this... I think you can either get a disease or a beast event. You can't get them both, which means that if the disease kills the Dahan, we can't salvage that position by also having the beast kill the Explorers. Let's just go here. It's got everything. This, we're going to pay an energy for a minor, I think. I mean, that's the only thing you can do, right? Oh, crap, I forgot again. Come back. We had you, and you. Alright, we have 2 defend 5s. And the sap has the range, too, which solves that problem that I accidentally rolled myself into. Ellie Boon is always worth considering. We are a very elementally heavy spirit. Yeah, I mean, it's hard to go wrong with sap. It's like one of the best defense in the game. Okay, that is these. We can make this slow, and I feel like if that's a choice that's probably the right choice. Yeah, just we'll have access to 4 innates, lots of great options available to us. Also, I'm pretty sure this metal technically follows us, which could matter if our Incarna dies, but I'm just going to leave it here for now. Terror level 2, Bureaucrats. What do we got? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. So that means it skips the highest numbered matching land, meaning that even if the disease wasn't here, that would still be skipped. That extra beast gets us 2 fear. And then we get some free defense that we're not going to utilize. Terror level 2 adds a strife in a land with presence. Gain an energy for each sacred site and land with invaders. So we get 1 energy. And we get a range 0 strife. So I'll just use that here. Invaders do -1 damage per damage they have taken, and then 1 damage to each of up to 2 invaders. Has to target a ravaging land, so let's just get after these cities. What are we looking at for slow damage? 2 slow damage here. I guess it's possible for us to wind up getting the extra damage. Certainly getting a city, I think, is fine. Is obvious, because then we can clean it off. We could use the push power to pick up all of this steel. Let's just pick off and explore. Take a blight. That dies. And then this all builds. Wetlands are all A-OK. And then we get Sands Mountains. Excellent. Lots of slow powers available to us. We can target land that already has steel. We can add more steel to a city that already has it. So we can find steel and then add steel to a city that already has it. That's all very good. We can also find more steel. And I believe when we find metal, we can only go to one that already does not have metal. So we actually can't target this land anymore, because it's all got metal. So I think we come here, targeting the sands, finding metal here, and I believe we have the next tier for that 2 fear. Yes. Okay, so the sun one is done. We have 2 damage to kill off that city and collect more steel. We do also, we can push this town, it drops steel. And we can push the explorer as well. So that uses all of our innates, which might be inefficient in terms of like seeing what kind of augments we can get. But that is what we got. So right now we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 steel. Our next 2 cost 3 apiece. So we actually, after all of that, only get 1 augment. Or one treasure. When we bring it all home. Which gets us terrible elements. Water makes our pushes better. Plant gets us more energy on growths. I feel like this next cycle we are reclaiming, so we're not going to get any benefit from that. Pushes is certainly always worth considering, or we could take a free element. We already have a free sun here. The water plant don't do anything for us, right? So it's either take the water augment or a free sun. And I feel like this is not the game-winning one, so I think we just take the water. Make our pushes better. Time passes. Another consideration is we could also use the trees and stones speak of war in this land, kill off like the 2 explorers, defend it for 4. as another mechanism to work on that land. Considering it's back-to-back, we do want to, like, deal with it. Also, we kill off Explorer, damage the town, kill off City Town, then it builds up only a town. City's not there anymore. Okay, let's reclaim. Gaining a miner. Ooh, Sky's Herald. This is the game-winning card. Gathering 2 Dahan lets us gather here, here. That way, now our defense actually turn into progressing forward, considering that's the second to last Ravage of the game. We need to actually, get stuff done. We have to start picking off cities. So, yeah, there's only 3 cities left. Whew. Yeah, that was a really good one. Gain energy. We have to do Sky's Herald. Trees and Stone, Speak of War. And then Carapace Land. I think is pretty much forced to go for all of that. Carapace Land to defend. Yeah, because it's hidden for 7, so that's our best defense. Okay. Threshold is not going to be the ticket. So we're going to do this. Kill. Damage. This will defend for 6. Bring back a presence. Gather 2 Dahan. And then this whole steel finding thing we can do slow. Yeah, this land's not going to be a problem, right? All we care about is killing off the cities, right? So yeah, we're going to have to pull a major next turn. Holy hell, how do we pull this off? Is that 1 damage ain't it? Our push, we can push a city. Which gets us a fear. So that is a thing. We can push a city. And that's just... Yeah, we get 1 damage here, 1 damage here. Holy yikes. Yeah, I think we just add the steel now so we can collect it immediately. Moving our Incarna in. Because I think we collect it, bring it back, pick up an augment, hoping to get this animal one to turn these 1 damage pings into 2 damage pings. That's going to make a difference. Especially like push a city into the Badlands and then do 2 damage to it. Let's see. Skip 1 Ravage action where Dahan outnumber buildings. That is not pertinent because we don't have any land for that. 1 damage per beast. Ooh, that's a big, big deal. Now we don't get a city back here. And that's each land what beast? Okay. So yeah, definitely damage the city. Because now these are both cleared because of the Ravage. Even if we miss on the bonus damage, we can do 2 1 damage pings, leaves 1 city on the board. There's a path to victory. On each board, if any Dahan are in lands with building, yes, that is a fear. 2 fear cards. Here we go. Place an explorer town with a Dahan in a land with 2 or more Dahan. Yes. That's gonna be... Kind of doesn't matter. As far as winning goes, it doesn't make a difference. And to strife in a land with Dahan, and invaders have -1 health per strife down to a minimum of 1. So that will instantly kill this town. And we could add a strife here, which will also kill this town. Not that it matters, but now the counterattack fully clears both lands. And then we really have few issues. So Ravage, Ravage. Build in the mountains. Exploring the jungles and wetlands. Okay, 2 cities left to kill. I have 2 steel here, 2 steel here. That's good for 1 more augment. So these will both get spent, and 1 of these. Bring in my boy home. Let's see what we get. Lure does not have an animal on it. So the fire we've used, the air we've used, the plant is here, the moon is used. So we can either get an element. We get a fire element. That's worth +1 damage. Okay. We get energy that I really don't think that energy is going to matter. The air? The air lets us get an extra push. Which we would push here, and then we'd still wind up, which would turn into an extra damage. Right, so an extra damage either way. So I'm going to take the, based on my hand, well, it doesn't matter because it's not like we have any slow to fast. I'm just going to take the, no, because if we push a city, we get a fear. So yeah, so the air is better. Okay, so we get the air, that's better. Goes right there. All right, let's play this out. What do I have for fast damage? I have blood draws, which is almost fast damage. Okay. Now there is more steel. So one thing we could do is I could put, since we're here, I could put 2 steel on the city, push the city out, collect that steel. It costs 4. Dang. And I brought back for the turn already. Maybe. Add steel to move the Incarna. Okay, so now there's 3 steel in the land. Push it all out. Drops 3 steel. Then I push it all out. Come back for 1 damage. And then... no, that would not work. Because then nothing gets killed if I do that line. I'm not sure if there's another way for me to get 1 more augment. But if I do... Oh wait, hold on. Things with Strife have -1 HP, right? So this is a 1 HP city here. So I could add the steel, get the fear, do the damage, that immediately kills it. But and then I can push? So I don't think I've gained any new information. So if I did this, 1 damage kills this, I push, and then I do 2 damage plus the Badlands for 3 damage to kill the other city. I think that's a victory. So had I taken the fire element, I would find steel here, but I don't think that part matters. It's going to be 2 steel. I'll just put it straight in. 2 fear since invaders are present. 1 damage since there already is a damage, and there's a strife, which gives -1 health. That will kill the city. And then I can push this explorer, whatever. It's right there. Then I can do a push. Because I have this, the water bonus, a thing that would push a town can push a city, and I get a fear. And I push the city. Then, 2 damage plus the Badlands for 3 damage. Bring the Incarna in to collect that steel. That kills the city. And that is a Terror level 3 victory. Just in the nick of time. Holy yikes. Wow. That was really interesting, teasing out that puzzle at the end. It's a very tricky spirit. I think picking up these 3 innates at the beginning of the game is a really, really big deal. particularly getting this extra steel. I mean, like, we had such poor steel income at the start of the game. We had a really slow start, but we were able to pick up 6 of them, and we could have picked up a 7th going into next turn. But that's a ton of steel to pick up, and that's only possible because we picked up this one relatively early. I think this was the first one that we got. I think this was the last one that we got. Very tricky. Very tricky. I also think that playing Prussia, like Prussia 6 is, as much as Prussia like has nothing extra going for it, makes it kind of conceptually easy to play against, it also forces you to be as efficient as you possibly can, because you just have fewer turns relative to any other spirit. So I wonder if maybe this actually could just be a bad matchup for us, because we do kind of have that slow start. We need to ramp up and grow into our power. I don't know. We'll see. We'll see how the other matchups play out. That's all I got for today, guys. Thank you so much for watching, and have a great day.